So hello everyone, good evening. We are going to start now. We actually were waiting for some people to join us. So today, my name is Kendi Akewa, and I'll be taking you through the journey of web design introduction, and maybe by next week we also continue. I also introducing you to the other web development skills using content management system. But today we are just going to do a basic web design introduction, HTML, CSS, how to actually put everything together and create a simple website. Then we also try to push the website we have done to a web server so that it will be available through the URL. That is what we wanted to do today, so that you understand the journey of how it all happens for you to see a website like you have all been browsing websites. So, but how everything comes together to form a page that you can click and navigate around. To start with, a website, I don't know, if you can hear me, can you type yes in the chat box to tell me that I'm not talking to myself? Just type a yes, the chat box. Okay, Alicia saying yes, Rook, Amata, Wilfred say yes. Okay, so those are the three people with me. Alex is also saying yes. Okay, so I believe we have Flo, iPad, Flo, okay. We also have B here. We have B. What are the other people we have? We have 13 people on the call. So I just want to be sure I'm not talking to myself. So as I'm talking, you can go ahead and type your question. If you have questions, you can go ahead and type your questions in the chat box. At the end of the class, we are going to go through. You cannot see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, say yes. Oh, definitely you can see my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me share the whole thing. Okay. So I believe you can see my screen now. I believe you can see my screen now. So, okay. Okay. So you can see my screen now. Thank you. Yes, we can. Thank you, Amata. All right. So, like I was saying before, the act of web design is a beautiful concept, and the website can be done with HTML. That's what we are going to be introducing you to this evening. The website is developed using HTML. And the full meaning of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. That is the basic language with which the website is developed. There is also Cascading Style Sheet, CSS. Cascading Style Sheet is also a language that we use in structuring our HTML. So you write your HTML and CSS together most of the time, although you partition them, but you can write them interwovenly. Also, we have JavaScript. These three languages, they are scripting languages. When we say something is a scripting language, it means it's meant to be interpreted by the browser. You understand? If you go to a website or any website, you will notice that your website will be interpreted by the browser, either a Chrome browser or a Mozilla browser or Edge. The browser is the one that interprets your script. So Hypertext Markup Language, Cascading Style Sheet, and JavaScript all are scripting languages that we use in building our website. And if you go to any website and you right-click on the website and click on Page Source, you will see the hypertext markup language scripts that they have used in developing the websites. Understand? So like this now, you can see that every code that is being written for this website, except the PHP scripts, you may not see. But HTML script, CSS script, you will see this is CSS script, this is HTML, JavaScript, all of them, you will see them. These are JavaScript. You will see them in the, if you right click and click on page source, all the browsers have this functionalities. So that is that about a browser interpreting your HTML. So I advise for further studies, definitely for further, because this is an introductory class, go to HW3 School and learn more about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They are very easy to learn materials over here, whereby you can try it out yourself. So that's about that. Now, we go to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the environment. If you're someone that is very conversant with languages that we have, you discover that a programming language needed to be written in an environment before you can now test them. By default, let me say, when it started, when web design started, this script language of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you have to write them inside a notepad. A notepad is it's like this. This is a notepad. So you needed to write your HTML, your CSS in a notepad like this. It means you have to write your code, understanding and knowing every keyword that is there in the language. There is no IntelliSense. But nowadays, there has been a lot of improvement in these editors. We call them editors because Notepad itself is an editor. So we have a lot of them that we can now use to write our HTML, our CSS, our JavaScript. And if you Google them, the most popular of these editors is the VS Code, Visual Studio Code, Sublime, Notepad++. Let's search for it. HTML editors. You can see them. City editor. You can see all of them. A lot of them. You can see there a whole lot of them. Let's see popular HTML editors. The best HTML editor in 2020. Let's look at that. Let's just play around. The best HTML editor 2021 depends on the reviewer anyway. No, this is not good. So I advise you stick with that. I mean, continue with this. That may be research for that. Anyway, but I advise you stick with either VS Code and Sublime. They have the intelligence you need. They have the intelligence. So I'm going to. I will show you. This is VS Code environment. This is VS Code. So I want to open a new. Can open a new file by opening the editor. I want to open dependencies. Index. For example, this is the new file. This is a VS Code. Now I want to open also the Sublime. This is Sublime. They are similar to each other, but the beauty of this is the fact that they have IntelliSense. IntelliSense meaning that they have already built-in keywords that we use in developing our website. They are already stored here. An example is this: when you write something like this, it automatically shows for you. It automatically shows for you some of the keywords that you might want to actually write. Now, see if I'm typing HTML, it's suggesting to me. You will not get that if you are actually using, a note. So you will not get that if you are using this normal Notepad plus online Notepad actually. But you get that if you are using Sublime or a Visual Studio Code. So I want to, but in this particular class, I'll be using Sublime because I'm actually more convenient with Sublime, depending on the kind of application you are actually. If you are working on a mobile app, you are working on a web app, it depends actually. For me personally, so but I won't be the judge of that. It depends on the developer. So some developer actually use one particular editor for all their languages. But if I'm working in a mobile app, I prefer to use the VS Code. So I don't want us to jump. I want to take it very easy. Now, we've talked about browser. We've talked about the editors. Now we need to actually talk about the language itself. We are going to start first with HTML. Like I mentioned earlier, HTML is the language with which the website is developed. And for you to start writing your HTML, it means that you want to build a website. For example, you want to build a website, and that's a project. So you need to start a project. When you want to start a project, even if you have your personal things you are doing on your computer, you arrange your files, your folder, you arrange them on your desktop, one way or the other. So files that are related to each other, you put them in a separate folder. I believe I'm communicating. So when you are designing your website, you need to create a folder, just like the normal folder you create on a system or your computer, your desktop, or my document in your hard drive. You create a folder and you put all the files that are relating to that particular project inside that folder. So that's the first thing we are going to do. We are going to start a project and we are going to create a folder and we want to add a file to that particular folder. Note that a website is a connection of similar files. A website is a connection of similar files that are related to each other. If you go to, for example, if you have a school website, you see about page, home page, the contact page, our services, our facilities, apply. Everything, when you click on the menu on the website, is going to navigate you around all the, for example, look at this website, G3 website, about page, the community is going to take you around the website. Those are the files on the website. You understand? So we need to create all these files, each one of these pages, and put them in the same folder. So what we want to do today is actually to first create a folder. So we are going to create a folder. So we are going to go to File, Open a folder. Let's put this on the desktop. I'm going to create a folder on the desktop. We're going to call it Project. Project. Let's say Project 1. Let's call it Project 1. So I created a folder. So I'm going to open this folder, select folder. So as you can see, the folder is opened, but there is no file in the folder. That's the first thing we should do. Now, the next thing is for us to create a file. So I'm going to create a file, new. And I will now save this file. Control F, save, save. I can press my Control S to save it. The folder is on the desktop, and I'm going to save it inside the project one, which is the folder I just created. Then I'm going to call the file. I'm going to give it a name. Actually, I can give my file any name. About page, contact page, home page, any name. Services, facility, any name that comes to mind, or any name that that is synonymous to what you actually wanted to do with that particular page. But note, whenever you are going to be creating the first page of the website, the name of the first page you want people to see when they come to your website, you should call it index. Index. The first page, you know, on your website, there are going to be a lot of pages. You may have 1,500 pages, you may have 400 pages, you may have 300 pages, but the browser, the URL, the web server notes, recognizes the page you call index. Either you call it index.php, index.html, it may be index.asp, depending on the language with which you are writing your website. Or the first page that the web server will open when it wants to open your website is called index. So we are writing HTML now, we're going to put .html. So you need to put an extension of .html so that the computer automatically recognizes that this is a browser dependent file, meaning that this file, if I'm going to go to the desktop environment, I'm going to try to locate my desktop and locate the folder. This is the folder. You can see that the file I created, index, is already created. And it's already telling me that, oh, this is a Mozilla file, meaning that this file can be opened by Mozilla. I can double click on it here, and it's going to open it for me. You understand? But let's see. Okay. This is the file. This is the file. So there is nothing in my file. So now we need to now start writing our HTML. As you can see, it's either I go to the folder, double click on the file to open the file, or I come here inside my folder, click on open file. I mean, right click and say open in browser. That is if I'm using Sublime. If you are using Visual Studio Code, you will see something like I think it should be run. You get something. It depends on the file. You will see the server side where you can run the file, or you can always open it in the browser. I don't want to rush. Now, please, if you are with me, let me check if there are any questions so far. Yes, you can download that. You can download Sublime, very much available. Also, VS Code. VS Code is free. Sublime is free. You can download Sublime. You can download VS Code. They are all free tools that you can download. You know, they are very free. They are very free. So let us, if you can hear me, if you are with me, please can you say you're good or yeah, yeah, so that I know I'm not talking to myself. Yeah, thank you. Now let's go ahead with this. We are going to be designing this website. a simple website. My brothers and sisters, if you want to do a website, you need to have an idea of what you want to do. You understand? So you must have done a sketch of what you want to do. But basically, there are some key words, keywords that needs to be on your website. For example, I told you earlier that there are basic keyword that needs to be in your HTML. And I told you that this environment has IntelliSense. And I showed you the IntelliSense of this particular one. Don't forget this. For example, if you want to start developing with Sublime, you need to start, if you key in the less than sign and you type HTML, it will suggest to you that, do you mean to type this? Pressing enter will help you complete most of the basic key that you're supposed to actually have on your HTML page. So you can see automatically it completes the other things for me, like the HTML, the head, the title, the completed head, and the body. These are the basic keywords that we call them tags that need to be on a website before we can say a website is complete. They are called the basic tags. So if this is the body of the website, this is where the body of the website is where all the content of the website needs to be. The pictures, the about us, the menu, everything is always in the body. The head section is where you define the website's properties. And you can also use the head section to integrate or link it to other scripts outside the website that will help this website to actually work better. For example, the body, if I say hello, let's do our first hello word. Hello word. This is our hello word. Let's go to our browser. I think this is the one we started with. Let us refresh. You can see we have our hello word. That is just it. That's all we needed to do. Just put your hello word. We can now go ahead and start styling it. Say H1. You can see the way it's automatically completing the tags for me when I enter the less than sign and a slash. Automatically completes. You can see H1, this is the font style for your font or your text. We can go ahead and do a whole lot of things. We can now put in our divs, our tables, our colors, and a whole lot of things. You can style it. Background color. Say red. So you can do a lot. You can now start styling it. That is how our website, let me reveal the color. It has to say, let me say blue, sky blue. You can see it's suggesting all the colors for us. Sky blue will be good. Let's do sky blue. So this is good. So this is how you now start styling your website and do a whole lot of things. But before we go on, brothers and sisters, I want us to plan our application before we go on. I want to introduce us to a couple of things before we go on. We are going to do a graphical design of a website that we want to develop today. What we want to do, what you have to do before, as a developer, you are not going to be the only one working on projects most of the time. You are probably going to be working with BAs, with QA, with business owners, and you might have been given a design to come up with. So you need to know how to look at the design and interpret it into the actual actual concept, actual design that can be clicked around. So if you know how to, I don't know if any one of us know how to use Adobe XD. It's the most popular, I think. Adobe SD. It's my Adobe SD coming up. Adobe SD is actually used to design. Something is wrong with my Adobe SD. We use Adobe SD to design. Want to design a website or in a mobile app. We use Adobe SD to check how it's going to look like. You design the websites, the menu, the body of the website, the footer of the website. Maybe we have a banner somewhere. All these things you need to have done, or it must have been done by the group you are working with, and you have been given a design. Right, this is the color. Let me color this. Let me put a field. Let me put a red. Let me put a blue here. Let's do this. Let's put a. Yeah, just to make them distinct. The footer. Let's do it. So it might have something like this, or even it's having a background color. Let me use Firefox. So this is an example of an Adobe SD. Let's view this on mobile. Let's say, assuming we are actually working with mobile. You can see it's actually open the hub. So assuming you can switch it to the mobile view. Well, I would like to actually use another tool. This one is Firefox. And before I continue, I would like to encourage us as developers to not shy away from using a graphics tool. You may not be able to do a lot of things if you don't know how to use the graphics tool as a developer. Because you want to do a lot of things, you need to know how to use the graphics tools. Understand? So I'm going to draw a box. I want to draw a box of maybe 1,000. Okay, I have a box there already. Don't bother yourself about how to use this software for now, but you understand where I'm going to with this later. But I just want to let you know that the concept of you working towards a goal when you are designing a website is very important. Oh, sorry. I've been talking away. Sorry. I'm bringing in a background, and I'm going to actually, I want to do a small template of a website so that we can work towards it before the end of this class, and then see how we can push it up. But I don't want to be fast about this so that you have to, even if you are watching the video all over again, you'll be able to, walk yourself through it and be able to recreate this, because we are going to be going to something different next week. Now, I'm going to do some structural drawing. I assume that will be my menu, and also we have a picture here, and that should be all. Maybe another one here, a text, and maybe another one here, and maybe a footer. And then also, I should be able to also write a couple of things inside this. Say, welcome. Or let's say something like, who we are. Who we are. Then I want to write something, some text, not too much. The blah blah blah, lorem ipsum stuff. You understand what I mean? So I want to write some text. I want to add some images to this. I want to add some images to this. I don't know if we'll be able to do this because I still want to introduce to the concept of hosting a website, designing a website. I mean, a whole lot of things. If it can be fast, I'm just assuming that we all be able to. We all be able to watch the video again so that we understand all this thing. So I'm just trying to. Okay, now that will be the menu. This will be the menu, and our menu will definitely have something like say about services. What other thing? Let's say partners, portfolios, contact. So in a graphical way, I'm assuming we want to quickly do this if time permits us before the end of this class. This is what we want to do. So let us quickly get to it. While we are doing this, we want to learn some basic concept of HTML and CSS. It's going to be tough, but we will try as much as possible to achieve it by not being, we may not be able to complete, but at least we should be able to learn a lot of things on the way, at least. So the first thing we want to do, we now know where we are going to, and this is our file. I want to save the file. I will save it in the same folder, and it's an image. I want to create an image file, image folder rather. And I will say, that's our storyboard. But that is the story we want to tell. That is website storyboard. So I'm just saving that for the benefit of you. So we want to, let me put it at 15, that you can see very well. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I would like to remove this. The website is started by you typing HTML and ending with HTML, tapping the head section, ending with the head section, the body, and heading, completing it with the body section. And there are also some other tags that we will be using to create all these boxes. All the boxes that you are seeing there, here, the tag for images, how you can bring in images, how you can create a link where people can click and it goes to another page. The keywords that you will need to do all these things are called tags. They are called tags. So we are first going to be introducing the div tag. The div tag is what we use in creating boxes. Boxes, you can see our hello world is aligned totally to the left. We need to align everything we are typing to the middle of our page. So we need to first create boxes. So the div is the keyword that we use in creating such boxes. And if I now type my hello and I save, I'm already pressing Ctrl S on my keyboard to save my page. So I'm going to be refreshing. You can see I've already removed the body tag. So the color is away, but maybe we should return that anyway, so that the environment will look okay. Background color. I think I happen to even like the sky blue. It looks cool. Looks good. So our hello is A, but it's aligned to the left. Now we can decide to write another style. So this is the writing style. We're already writing CSS. So like I mentioned earlier, the cascading style sheet, which is CSS, is the scripting language we use in arranging our website the way we want it. We use it to structure our website, beautify our website, make it look good the way we want it. So you write a cascading style sheet inside the CSS, inside HTML. And there are three main ways with which we can write our CSS in our HTML. We can either use inline, internal, or external. We will try to go through these three methods before the end of the class. So now I want to specify to this div that the width is going to be 1000 pixels. The height is going to be 800 pixels. The background color is going to be let me say sequin. Okay, let us see what we have done so far. Let's refresh. So that is what we defined. Width of 1000 pixels, height of 800 pixels, and that is the sequin. That is what we have defined. But you can see our box is aligned to the left. We need to give further instructions. The further instruction that we enable this box to be centralized is margin left auto and margin right. Margin right auto. It means to give equal spaces on the right and on the left of this particular box. So one way or the other, we have our box. We have this box. We have this box that will carry all other items. Now let's go ahead. Let's remove this. Now we need to create the box for the menu. We can have another div. We will assume that there is this box that is not visible here, that is covering all these components, that is housing all these components. We assume that there's a component that is housing all these components, and every other thing is inside that particular box, big box. And we also assume that this background image, let us try to create a new file and save it so we can use it in our website. Save. We are going to save it in the same project folder. You remember that we created an image folder in the box, in the folder, and we called it image. The folder we call it image. But we want to save this image I'm going to make it, I'm going to make the background white, black rather. So that it will look exactly the way we have it here. So we are going to go back. Instead of having style background color as sky blue, we want to use a background image. URL. To use a background image, you need to make it a URL. And remember, the image is inside a particular folder in the root of the folder we created that is called project. And the name of that particular file is bg.jpg. I'm going to go over this again to see what we have now. Don't know if we can all see. We are going to do that all over again so that it won't look like I did a magic there. Initially, if you notice, we have background color as sky blue. But now, according to our design, we have a background that is used in our image. And the background of our image is this background that we removed from this place, or we made a copy, and we saved it here. After saving it, we clicked on Save As, and we will try to locate the folder of the project. It's called project, remember? Call it project. We opened it, and we saved it in the folder, inside the project folder, images. And this is the file. We save it as a JPEG image. That is bg.jpg. That is the full name of that particular file. So when you want to reference it, you need to spell it out in full. Spelling it out in full in your code, meaning that you need to specify the folder where it is located and the name of the file with the extension. So you need to say background image is this. So it will automatically, the moment you are using background color and background image, the background image always override the background color in any case. So if the background image is not there, the browser automatically picks your background color. But if your background image is available and the image is inside the folder where you have it, it will automatically pick the image in the folder. I see the image is in the folder. So I don't know if anybody is having questions as per that, because sometimes which of the software version? Is Firefox free to download? Yes, that's a browser. Oh, you Mozilla, that's Firefox. It's not free, but I can give you access to the file. It means somebody's talking about this software. I'll give you a direct link for you to download it from my drive. Yeah. Okay, now we need to go ahead to what we are doing now because of our time. We have 1 hour, 8 more minutes left. Okay, and this is where we are. We have been able to add a background, but we are not done adding the background. We want to do one more thing, a couple of more things before we are done with the background. Background cover. Background size should cover. Let your background size cover. Let us see what it means. This is what it means. This allows you to do a website that is more responsive to the mobile or the device with which you are using to browse the website. It automatically stretches itself to the device you are using to browse the website. Understand? So that is what background cover does for you. Also, I think you should also learn to use background background repeats. Use no repeats. I think you should not allow your background to repeat. You should not allow your background to repeat. So that will do. Let me try to reduce the size of this image. It's quite big. It's 3000 by 3094. That's why you couldn't see very well. And the screen of this laptop is in 1009 in terms of the resolution. So the background is relatively too big. It's too big. So let us feed this to the canvas. Let's feed this to the canvas. Let me reduce the size and let me cut a little bit out of the image. Okay, so then refresh again. So it's coming out good, better. Now let's go on. Let's go on because of our time. Now we want to have our menu bar. We want to have our menu bar. We have another div here. We have another div here. We want to create a navigation bar. That is this menu at the top. This menu at the top. We want to have it. We want to have a menu at the top. So we already have a div that we are going to use this div, but we need to call a particular inbuilt function that's already, it's not, their keywords actually came with the new versions of HTML. So they are already inbuilt function that will allow us to quickly create some great stuff. They are called, I couldn't remember the name there. Special function, navigations. There are footer, headers. I think they are HTML attributes. HTML attributes. Basic elements. Are the basic elements? Try to remember the name they are called. So, but they are basic elements anyway. They are called nav. One of them is nav. We have nav, footer. Where is that footer? We have section, main. They are keywords. Section, sections, header. They are keywords of HTML that we use to build websites. Understand? So today we are going to be using nav. Now, the moment you write nav the way we have it here, I don't know if you can see my screen very well. Let me remove this. We've seen them anyway. I'm commenting them out. So you can type in the exact links, menus that you want to have in your menu, like we have it. But before you write them, it's better you put them in a reference tag or a tag, call them the link tag. We mentioned earlier, when you, for example, this website, you can see home, about, community, rate giving. These are links that will allow you to click on these, takes you to the about page, click on community, take you to that page. So we need to link each one of the items in your menu, like you have it, home, about, services, partner, portfolio, contact. We need to link them to a particular page. So how to link is this: you ensure everything is inside a particular nav that we have here. And I want to move the nav up. The nav is inside this div. This nav is inside this div. And you can see the way I'm writing. I'm indenting my code to make it easy for me to know which one is inside which one. you can see that this nav is inside this div, and this div is inside the bigger one, and this bigger one is inside the body. And the intelligence that comes in with this is the fact that when you click on this div, it allows you, the underline that you have under this allows you to know that this is the div that terminates this. This is one that terminates it. Clicking on this nav, this is the nav that terminates it. The body, this is the terminator. You understand? The HTML that we have here, this is where it started. The head, and this is the end of the head. The title, and this is the end of the title. So the intelligence that comes with HTML editor allows you to know where a particular div terminates. But it is actually incumbent on you to ensure that you indent your code. So if I'm going to now start writing my links in the home about, like we have in our website here, I want to start writing my links. I will start writing my links of each of the home by putting them in an A tag. And this is how to start an A tag. A, pressing enter, it automatically completes it for me. You can see, I only type, I'll do that again. I started a less than sign, and I press A, and it's telling me, do I mean A or aside or acronym? And I actually needed the A tag. That is the one that allows you to link all your pages together. And I press the enter key. So that's all. So I just need to put my A, home page. So I can do a Control C and V. It's Control C and V. And I will now put my about. Do I even know? Let me look at services, partners, portfolio, contact. Services, partner, portfolio, contacts. So those are the links that we want to have on our website. Let us go to the front end to see what's happening now. You can see that we have our links already arranged, but they are not properly arranged the way we would have loved it to be arranged. But definitely we understand that they are links and they are already aligned on the menu bar. So we needed to actually also work on our div here to style it. But before we go ahead with that, I would like to introduce to you the concept of CSS fully. What we have been writing is called CSS. That is using this style. This is CSS. And we have been writing our CSS inline. We are writing it directly in the body of our HTML code. It's called inline. That is when you write your HTML inside the body of your website. It's called inline. If you write it in the head section, this is the head section of your website, it's called internal. All we have been writing here, this style, blah, 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 we can actually write it in the body, in the head section. And if you want to start that, you say script. Cascading style sheet. Don't forget, it's cascading style sheet. I mean style, not script. It says style. Style. Script is for JavaScript. So, for example, body. I want to move all the code that we have here. I'm going to cut them. And I'm going to put them here. I'm giving this space so that you can see what I'm doing. This is still going to do the same thing. When you say body, you remember we wrote style here, style, and we added all these items. But now we wrote the body here and we put all the code there. Instead of littering our page or our page with that, put everything in the head section. This is what I mean by the head section. This is head, and this is the end of the head. And we started style and put it inside we wrote a style. This is a default keyword, body. So let's refresh our page. You can see it's still the same thing. You can see it's still the same thing. So instead of you writing your code, your CSS, and littering the body, all this code, you can copy them and move them to the head section of your website. So now this div, now if you want to remove this, you need to give it a name. You need to give it a name. The name is what you will now call here and say, oh, your name is so, or this is the name that has been assigned to you. So it will inherit all the properties that you have defined here, because these are property defined. So I'm going to call this. So the process of actually giving it a name is called, assigning. It's like you are writing a function or a class. So to start a class, you put a dot. Box one, let me say box one. Box one. And I start a div and I end it. So all I need to now do is put on where I want to use the particular item. I need to call the class. But if you go to the page now, you will notice that all we have done, that is giving the color, everything is gone. That is all this. All this. Let me say box one. We can't see the effect of 1,000 pixels of width and height. We can't see anything again. Because of what? We have removed everything from this particular element. This is the element that's supposed to carry all other properties. But we have actually defined it separately, that this whole property is called box one. So what we need to do now is come here and call it class. Box one. So if we call it class box one, which is the same as this, we can see that our properties are back again. The beauty of this is the fact that we don't get to rewrite code over and over again. For example, if I am actually also needing the same property somewhere else, maybe down here, let me have it break. And I want to have another div. I want to have another div, and I want to write, hello, this is a replica. And I want to have the same property as green, height of 1,000, the same property. All I just need to do is say class. Because see, it's even telling me there's something that's called box one. And I will say box one. And voila, you get it. I will get the same property. So instead of writing the whole of this all over and all over again, anytime I need to use that property, I just need to define it once here. And I will call it anywhere, all over my website, all over this page, because it's actually referenced in the head section of this page. So I believe we all got that. So writing a function for our CSS allow us to use the same particular code several places in our website. That is how to write your CSS inline, internal rather. We have talked about inline before. Internal is when you are writing it in the head section of your website. Now, I want to talk about how we can write it external, which requires you creating a separate file. So a separate file, you go to File, and you need to create a cascading style sheet file. So we save it as CSS. We need to give it a name. You can give it any name you like. Say let's see, my style. Because most of the template you see, they will say style.css. So I'm calling this style, my style.css. So that's that. It has been created. The file has been created. So we can actually move all this. Can move all this. Can delete all this. Can move it to our CSS file. This is the new file we created, remember? This is the new file we created, and we have actually saved it as my style.css. So if you go back to your HTML page, you can see there is nothing controlling it. There is no way this box is not having its references in the head section again. This div is not having any references anywhere again. The body is not having a way to say, oh, what is the background image or color again. Everything has been moved to an external file that needs to be indicated in this place. Because if you go to your page and you refresh, you discover everything is gone. Everything is gone except what you have here. And there is nothing controlling them. So, but you need to come here and link it. You start a less than keyword here and press L. You want to link, click on link. It's going to automatically help complete all the other things. So what you are saying now is that you are linking a style sheet that is a type of CSS or text to this particular document. And the CSS file we want to link is called my style.css. So we need to put it here, href, my style.css. So the moment you can do this and say this particular file is linked to this page, and this is the file where we have all the defined structures, then our file is supposed to automatically work again. So in a simple word, that is how we can actually, that's why I try to walk you from the inline to internal to external, because these are the basic concept of website development, of linking HTML to CSS. We may not be able to get to that with JavaScript, but basically, this is how to link and write basic HTML. So we will try to go back to what we have been doing. Like I told you, we are trying to do all these things so as we can use the opportunity to learn the concept of web design and also be able to develop this simple website. So now we want to style. We are going to have another box. We are going to call it box 2. But now we are going to be writing our stuff in the CSS file. The CSS file want to have another box 2 that we are going to use for the menu section. We want to style the menu section. I want to say I want to give it a color. That is the color of the text. Let's say we are going to have it as white. We can use ash. Ash FFF is white. If you understand the concept of hexadecimal, you notice that F is the highest number in the hexadecimal. And these are actually the primary colors Primary colors is RGB, that is red, green, and blue. And red, that is the maximum color of red, the maximum color of green, and the maximum color of blue mixed in the same proportion of its highest order is going to give you white. No red, no blue, no green is going to give you black, and that is 0, 0, 0. But it's been very easy now. When we started learning web development like 20, 15, 18 years ago, we actually needed to cram all the basic colors, whereby we need to actually know the numbers, know all the necessary numbers. But now, just say white. Everything has been very easy, you know. So we want to say white. Let us look at that. How it's going to turn out. So we come back to our, and we say we wanted to call the class of box2. Box2. Is it box2? Yeah, box2. We are calling box2. Let's look at that. Let's see what it turns out. Is it really having any effects? No, it's not having any effect. Let us see. Let's take it to the now. Okay. Ahref is going to give us something else. One style. Okay, I think we have 45 minutes and we have not really done much, but I want us to cover, let me leave this at that anyway. But I just want you to know that we actually should be able to style. Okay, let me just show you something from the, if you come to this W3 school, you will see different layouts of menus, codes that you can actually lift and understand. They are just very easy for you to actually understand. You will see CSS code, and you will also see menu codes. You will see menu creation codes, form creation codes, how to create simple navigation, how to create simple header, how to create simple footer, how to create sections, how to create tables, how to link the item from one page to that. We should be able to do that anyway. So, but I want us to go ahead and create the other section. Let's see this. This is the main box. This is the second box. I want to create another box. Also time. And in this box, we want to this box. Okay, let us make this box. Let us give it a size. Assuming it's going to be the same width with this. So we are going to be doing code reuse, and the background color. The width is going to, the height is going to be, say 40, because we are talking about the height. We are talking about the height of this menu area. So we are going to be using 40. So 40. Let me save that. That is class box 2. Class box 2. Let us refresh to see how it goes. No. Oh, sorry, we are not having background color yet. Background color, I say something like salmon. I don't know what salmon anyway. I know it should be something good. Okay, this is salmon. Okay, it's okay. Well, let us increase the size. transparency, it's called opacity. Opacity, let's make it 5. Opacity is the transparency of a particular item. Okay, opacity is not working. Okay, no, it's between 0 and 1 actually. Okay, so you can see it's trying to fit to the background of the item. So, and the color should be white. So let's say, it's too much, 7. Then let us increase the size of this to 60. That is the height of the menu bar. So let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. And now let's go for the next item. Because of our time, because I still want to show you how it happened. Let us quickly finish this. Now, let's do this. Let's put a, say, this is going to be box 2. Let us do a box 3. Let's do a box 3. Dot box 3. Box 3 is going to have a background image. Let's say it's the same width, different heights. I'm reusing code. It's allowed to reuse code. Let's say the width is going to be 460 this time around, and the background image is going to be the URL, and we want to actually add a background from here. We want to save this image separately. Let us save in the same folder as our image, and we want to call that image, give it a name, say banner. That is banner.jpg. That will be banner.jpg. I'm trying to, because I know you don't understand the concept. So we are trying to add our image, banner.jpg. That will be the background of our box 3. And box 3, okay, this is box 2. Box 3 is going to be, according to our design, is going to be immediately after the menu bar. And this is our menu bar, and this is supposed to be our box 3. So let us quickly say this is our banner. I'm trying to put comments. Comment allows you to know. Control-Shift/ is going to allow you to quickly write comment. Menu, body. So then this is our menu. So we are calling our box 3. Box 3. So let us look at that. Okay. So, but it's like we have something that is not in place. Let us do some adjustments. We need to use this background cover. We are allowing the image to shrink itself to that particular box. So that is menu, but I think the height is too much. So let us reduce it to 60. To 60. 260 is too small. Let's do 300. 300 pixels. Okay, we are good. So now let's look at the other thing. What's the next thing from here? But according to our design, there is a space between the menu and the banner. So we need to work on that. So we need to do margin. Now the body, we need to remove this color. This box 1 is giving us this green. We need to remove it. Don't need that again. Even though this box 1 is carrying everybody, this is box 1, it's carrying the whole site, but we don't need, according to our design, we don't need that. So between our banner, our menu, and our bar, we need to have a space that's actually between them. So what we need to do in our code for our box 2 or box 1 is between our box 2 and our box 3, because the menu is the box 2 and the banner is the box 3. We need to either have a margin bottom on the menu bar or a margin top on the banner. So either of the case is okay. So, but let's do that on box 3. So we say margin top. Margin top. Let's do 10 pixels. Let's do 10. So margin top is now 10. Now let's go ahead. I think we are trying to keep up with the time. We also want to have another box. So we have our box here. That is our image, but we don't have anything inside it. We can write things inside it. Welcome to our website. Now you can go ahead and style it using span. And you say color white or black as you might want. So you can see we have the text inside, or you can go ahead and style it. So that's just the way it is. You can continue to write inline style, or okay, for example, I want to write an inline style and say, okay, sometimes you might need to even write your inline style to see how it looks before you now move your code to the style sheet. So for example, now I want to write an inline style that will give font size of 34 pixel. Font size 34 pixel. Font family. Like Lucida Console or Tahoma, whatever font style actually needed. But let me just use the first font style. But let me refresh this. And also, there is a difference between, you remember we use margin here. There is also what we call the padding. This is the difference. If the margin is outside the box, if you say margin top, you can see it giving a space between the banner and the menu. But when you now say padding, let us use padding. For example, I want to say padding. Let me say padding 20 pixel. It's going to calculate 20 pixel all round for this particular box. Is going to, from the top here to this particular text, is going to give us 20 pixel. From the right, 20 pixel. From the left, 20 pixel. And from the bottom, it's going to calculate 20 pixel. So let me refresh. So you can see, this is the space between here and this space is 20 pixel. From here and here is 20 pixel. All around, that is what it's going to do. But if you really want to specify, if you want the particular heights between left, right, top, and bottom to be different, you need to specify by writing them out. But it's actually of the order of trouble, TRBL. That is top, right, bottom, left. So if you want the top to be 20 pixel and you want the right to be 70 pixel, and you want the bottom to be 5 pixel alone, then you want the left, let's make the left 90 pixel. You will notice what I'm saying now, that you are going to now say, you are going to notice that there is going to be a significant difference in the amount of space given on the left and the top, because we said the top is going to be 20, but that of the left is going to be 70. Right, left is going to be 90 rather. So a fast one there, don't forget the short, for you to remember, just say trouble. Remember trouble, TRBL. I'm just trying to be snappy about this so that we can achieve something. And I still want to show you a couple of things of actually how to push this website to the internet, so that from the internet, people can access your website. 15 minutes should be able to be enough for that anyway. So I'm trying to now also ensure that, we have our menu, our website growing, but you can notice that the padding that we added is already pushing this website. It's already pushing the width of the website. So we needed to actually adjust the width of the website. Let's do 900. There are fast way of actually doing that. Actually, it's okay. So let's do 40. Okay. Now, let's use black for the color. Let's use black. And the font size, did we use anything font? Bold. Font size, so 40 px. But you can just use custom font anyway. So now let's go back to our box. So we have the box 2. We want to go for the box 3. We can always reuse this code by saying we have a box 4, but we are not having this text inside. It's a fast way of actually you developing, and you can quickly reuse any one of these boxes. But this time around, you know what you are doing, you're faster. You can't write everything. It's called code reuse. But this time around, if you look at our design, this box is not that big. It's just like half of what we usually have before. So let's say the width is going to be 400 this time around, and the height, let's say 360, or let's say 300, and the background, let's leave the background at white, color white. Okay, that's okay. So let's look at that. Okay, so we have box 4 and it's like that. So let's refresh. You can see, so quickly we have been able to create our box 4, and we can put any other thing inside our box 4, like text. You want to write text. Let's quickly write something. Welcome. The first thing in that particular course is who we are. I want to do a span as is going to style this font family. Let's see, font size 50px. So that's that. Then we have another paragraph. That is, we want to just write text. Best way, let's just say welcome message. Welcome. So just a simple text to actually, so I'm just doing a copy and paste to increase the size of that. And we want to say this is a color white. So let's just look at this on our page. Okay, no padding, no nothing. Let us put a padding. Padding that is on our box 4. We put a padding, all-round padding. Let's do an all-round padding of say 10 pixels. 10 pixels. That will do. So you have been able to pad it, and also let us do a margin top. The margin top of 10 pixels. So we have that. So now we want to do a replica of this O box. This O box, we want to have a replica of this O box without the content, and we call it box 5. Box 5. So we need to create, let us reuse the whole of this. The whole of this. And we call it box 5. But we want to have an image inside. That is, we are reusing our code. That is how to reuse our code. Box 5 is a box of 400 pixels, 300 in height, and with a background image. The same image like we have in the banner, but let's try to pick this image. Let us save it separately. I just try to create exactly what we have in our, okay, say BG2. Let's save it as a JPEG. We have, I'm looking at the time actually. So BG2, so we can say we have a BG2 already saved now that we can access. So we should not have a problem with that again. So if we refresh, we should have a problem. Yes, that's a good problem. So we can see that our box is already flowing to the bottom of the page. What we need to do is to do a float. We need to do a float. We do a float to the left. Also do a float to the left on the second box. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see a float to the left on both of the boxes. It's actually going to make them align to the left, and they are going to actually stand beside each other. All this kind of float allows you to actually, when you are actually working with a website that needs to be mobile responsive, there are all the keywords that you actually need to use, you know how to use when you are working with websites that are mobile responsive. But you can see that looking at the website, that this particular image box is not having its own margin. So we also need to have a margin top as 10 pixels so that they will be properly aligned together. So in a way, we have been able to create something that's, okay, let us also do a padding 10 pixels so that they will be of the same height like we have in our design here. So, but to make it completely aligned, let's do 350 in terms of their width. The width is actually deficient there. Their width is not properly aligned. Let's look at that again. Oh, look, we are increasing the height. We're not talking about the width. Let's say the width is 450. say 430, 430. A little bit more. Let's do 460, 460. More. To 470, 470. Okay, okay. Okay, so that's more or less it. The other thing is just to have the footer of the page, which will allow us to, so it's more or less like having the top menu as also the footer of that particular page without, let's say, box 6. And we just use what we use at the top. I mean, it's more or less like the same thing without the navigation, and we call it 6. And it's going to be total black. I mean, in terms of the background, let's say we have a background color. We are talking about that of the footer, background color of black. So definitely, you can write things inside to make it the footer of the website. You understand? So if you refresh now, what's that? Oh, the height is massive. That is, we don't need more than 30 for that. So, and we also want to have a margin. No, not this. It's one needed. That's for the box 1. Okay, I copied box 1. We actually needed box 2. Okay, I think that'll be it. So if we refresh, float, we need float. Float is jamming things up. Okay, then we are using float to make sure everything is in place. And we also need to put a margin at top. Let's do 10 pixels as usual, so that I'm sure our speed has increased as we go on, but so that we can finish this class on time. So we have been able to create a replica of what we actually had the design of here. The only thing is that this image, the image in the box 5 is not properly aligned. We need to use a background size cover to ensure it's actually fitted to that particular box. So if we use that on this, and we're using code, copy and paste. So you can see. So background cover allows the image that is this simple code. Background cover allows the code, your image in your box, to automatically fit itself to the box where you used it. So that is for background cover. And we have been able to create a page that allows us to have a complete view using HTML and CSS. So, and also we have been able to understand and practice the concept of writing our code inline. This is inline. For example, now, if I want to move my style briefly before 9:45, I want to just also go over inline again, because it's a very important concept. Like you see, this is an inline code that I wrote on this style to ensure that this font is as big as it is. If I want to move it to the head section here, I will copy it, cut, I will say style. And I will put a dot, and I will create a class for it. Maybe who we are. I'm creating a class for it, and I will paste it. This is inline CSS. So this who we are is now a function that I can call as a class. So if I come here and I say class, who we are, So I'm calling this class on this particular element. So if I refresh, I will still be having the same thing here. That is internal. That is how to write your CSS internal. If I now want to take it outside, that is when I needed to create a new separate file. And I need to save my file as whatever name I call it, .css. Please note that we've already created one and we have it here. So if I move it here now and paste it, and I remove everything here, the moment is linked like this. And I say, this is my style.css, which is the one I have my code here. I will always have the same result on my website. So I'm just trying to recap what I have said. So in a way, one way or the other, we have been able to do a basic website, one-page website using HTML in a brief way, so as to actually also show you that this is a basic website. I want to call this, welcome to our website, home. Welcome to our website, home. Because this is also a key thing that we want to actually do before we conclude this site. Home. I'm going to do a save as, and I will say about. But before I do that, I want to put a link such that when you click on about, it's going to go to a separate page, service a separate page, partner a separate page, portfolio a separate page. Note that you are just going to be using the same set of code for all of them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give them all a name. The first page I told you that we have initially for our website is project one, yeah, it's project one. No, worry, wait, project. Okay, we have been working in projects. Sorry. We have been working in projects. So what I want to do now, I want to give everything a name. The first page we created is called index.html. We are going to create a page that is called about.html and another services.html. Partner, portfolio, contact.html. So these are all the other pages we want to have. So what we want to do now is to actually save as about. It must be correct. The name you are having here must be the same name that you've actually added to this place. If it's wrong, you are going to have an issue. So we are going to say, this is our about page. Yeah, so we want to create all the other pages, services. Admin.
Sorry.
Okay, partner. Let me also create partner. Portfolio. Portfolio.html and contacts.html. These are all the pages. You can see all of them are being created. We want to differentiate them by putting contact so that when we navigate around these pages, we recognize the partner, portfolio, services. So we have all the pages created now. So if you go to our website and we click on each one of these menu, you can see it's navigating, look at it's navigating through the pages. But the content of these pages are the same thing. That's why we are having the same thing on the pages. So you can now go ahead and say, oh, the contact page is supposed to have something else. Okay, let us remove what we have here right now and put something else. Okay, contact page is supposed to have, okay, where do we have our box 5? This is our box 5. Okay, this is okay, this is where we have the contact page. We want to integrate a map. Let's say map. Want to integrate a map to the contact page. Basically, how to integrate a map is just very easy. You just need to generate the iframe code from the location you want to generate, you want to link to your website. London Bridge. I have 10 minutes to run this up. Hello, if you can hear me, say hi. Yes, what type of testing is it? You can do manual testing and you can do automation testing as so required by the organization. Who is responsible for the security of the website? You, the developer, is responsible for the security of the website. Then it's like the security testing. Yes, there are security testing that you need to actually implement on your website, especially when your website needs to go online. That is by actually ensuring it's on a secure site. That is ensuring that SSL is deployed. That is HTTPS, which means that every activity or action going on your website is encrypted end to end. That is why you need to be on HTTPS. How can we find out the font size of the icon edits? I don't think I understand that question. It's a bit complex and confusing. Can you go over again? Definitely this video is already recorded. You can always watch everything all over again. We have 2 hours and we need to actually ensure something tangible is done. I think I've been able to answer all questions there. If you have any other question, please quickly let us put it up here. This is a map, and if you need to know how to get a map, for example, you get a map of somewhere, and you need to just click on this share icon. When you click on the share icon here, it's going to pop up a embed code like this. You can copy this and take it to where you want to put it on your website. We want to put it somewhere on the website. That is that box. This is contact page. I want to put it inside this place. Okay, I've not copied. Copy. So if you refresh your page again for the contact page, then we should get our, okay, we're getting our map on that. So about the map, according to what we are having there, is having a height of 600 by, but we need to adjust that to ensure it's not too big, and the height, okay, let's say 800, and height say 350. So that's, we are good. We have 7 more minutes quickly. So these are our websites. This is about us, contact, about services, partner, portfolio, and contact with a Google Map embedded. Now, this, before in 6 minutes, let me just quickly show you all the website we have done. If you go to the desktop, we have a folder already. We have a folder, and this is the folder of all the pages we have created, the image, the style, and everything. You understand? We need to zip everything. I'm going to zip everything, or don't let me zip. Let me zip everything anyway. Zip it. I'm going to compress it. It's already compressed. I believe you're welcome as a folder called project. And I need to log it on an online server so that I can make this website available to the whole wide world. I'm going to log into some of the server I have access to and upload this website so all of us can actually have access to the website. So this is a website actually, and we want to upload this website that we have done today to this server. Before we upload it, we should name the website, we should give it the name. This is the title of the website. Say the Blue Sky website demo homepage. But you know that we have already zipped the folder, so we need to rezip. We need to rezip that. So we need to compress. Yeah, okay. So we have true. So true is what we need to use. So this is the login interface of the server with the login username and the password that is best known to me. I've been able to log into an online server. This is an online server where all activities, where people can actually upload a particular website. This is where you create email forwarder, general email management, that an email that's actually attached to this particular domain, businessbridgeaf.com. You have info@businessbridgeaf.com. So this is file manager. That is where you upload all the file that has to do with this website. And you can also see all the images on the site, disk usage, web disk management, FTP account. That is if you want to do a file transfer protocol, create an access through a back channel to upload files to the website. There are other things that you can actually use to manage the website. Database creation, that is where you see how to actually create database. Domain management, subdomain management, add-on domain. Subdomain is when you want to have something like maybe something.businessbridge.com. So that is where this is where you go to do all that. We don't have all the time. Maybe by next we'll be able to go into a little bit of how to actually manage a web server. So if I want to actually upload the website, I need to actually go into the file manager. File manager is where we upload the file, but I need to also go into the public_HTML folder. This is where you see all websites, the actual site that you want people to see when they go to, for example, businessbridgeaf.com. This is where you see the website. But I want to have another folder that is actually appended to this particular website. You understand? If I want to have another folder, I need to create a folder, say Blue Sky Web Demo. So I'm creating a folder, and this is the folder. And I want to upload the website that we just created today. And this is the folder. I'm going to click on, I've clicked on this, and it's actually giving me this. I'm going to click on select file. I'm going to locate my desktop. And I'm going to locate the folder that I already zipped. Remember, we zipped the folder, so we have it. And it's uploading. It's just how many kilobytes? It's very light. It's not that big. So it's completely uploaded 100%. I can click on this to close the folder. So I can go back to this folder. You can see it's already uploaded. Click on it to extract the files in the folder to the folder. Extract the file and refresh. So these are all the content, but I want to move them a step out. I want to move them a step out so that they are going to be actually in the root folder of the application. So I want to move them out. So can see I have moved them a step out, so I can delete this. This is the zip file I uploaded. I'm deleting it also. So in one way or the other, we have been able to upload the website. And if you come here, this is the site, but we are having that particular website uploaded in a folder in this route. So if you go here, we are going to see the website we did today. So sure, admin can actually also share this folder. I'm going to send it to the admin so that they can share it with anybody that wants to actually have a source code of what we did today. Sure, we have some questions next week, but you should be able to also go to W3 School, ask question. And if you also have questions, you can compile it for next week. We'll be able to look into details of how to answer most of the questions. But I'm sure the internship environment or the period is also there for people that want to have an advanced understanding of web development. By next week, we are going to be going into content management development using WordPress. And we are going to also be looking at maybe first set of minutes to actually answer a couple of questions about web development. I'm sure there are some questions. If you have any other question, you can also send it to the chat box. It's already, time is up. We are trying to keep up with time. Thank you so much. If you have enjoyed the class, you can say it's okay. If you have questions, you can also send it. We continue to answer. So admin, thank you so much. I think that will be all.
Thank you so much, Kenny.
Thank you, sir. Boss,
thanks so much. So we're going to, yeah,